I'm Kris Dim, IFBB Pro bodybuilder. Well, you know, my workout is really early. I get up at 4:30 and I work out at 5:30 in the morning. So my workout was already done, and you know that was intense as it always is. I was actually probably about 6 weeks away from a contest at the time, but it didn't happen there. It happened when I was already relaxed. I was training my client, and I just felt 1,000 pounds on my chest, and right away, and I told my clients to call the ambulance. All I remember is waking up 5.5 hours later, and they gave me 10% chance to live, and they did an open heart surgery on me. I had an aortic dissection. They weren't sure if I was going to wake up with paralysis and brain damage put together from the lack of oxygen that I had. And all I remember is waking up, and when I woke up, I saw my chest, and it was already been cracked open and split, and I saw the scar there. And I talked to the cardiologist doctor, and he says there's going to be some changes in my life, and he says you're going to be going through ups and downs, and you know, everything else is going to be going through your mind. And he says the biggest thing you're going to go through is a depression. And to me, I've always been a self-motivated person. I've always been one of those person who jumpstart myself. Sometimes I'll talk to myself and tell myself, come on, Kris, get going. Come on, Kris, push harder. Everything I've done has been psychologically engraved in my head to keep motivated. So when he told me I was going to hit depression, and I'm going to be depressed, and I'm going to be feeling high and low, you know, in my mind at the time, I told him that's not going to happen to me. That never happens to me. I'll never allow myself to go through that. But sure enough, about 6 weeks out, I just started sitting there and just I was tearing up, and it was a really weird position to be in, because I didn't know what was going on with myself. But that was probably one of the hardest time in my life. I think the biggest thing about the surgery to me was family. When I was in the hospital, seeing my kid's face, you know, my ex-wife dropped everything and she came also, and you know, all the family and everything else. So to me, the value that I have now is outside bodybuilding is more important than just bodybuilding to me, and having my family and seeing my kids grow up and everything else, to me, that's probably the most important thing for me in my life now. Because after something drastic like that happened, you realize that you know, if you didn't have bodybuilding anymore, what do you have? And I realized my family is the most important thing in my life. So after about 3 months, I started baby stepping back in the gym again, and my first therapy was just walking from one side of the room to the other side of the room after my surgery, and overcame that. Right afterward, about 3 months, I started baby stepping, started getting in the gym, really lightweight. I was picking up 5 and 10 pounds weight, which to me, I would laugh at myself before, but the biggest thing for me was hitting the gym. To me, even if I wasn't bodybuilding, that's always been an out for me. That what takes away my stress, that takes away my frustrations, everything in life that I do, you know, training in the gym was an out for me. So when I couldn't do that, that was really hard. After about 6 months, my strength started coming back. I started seeing changes really fast, and then after 9 months, I was about 90% back. Went back and talked to my cardiologist and asked him, what is my risk, what is my chance if I ever decided to come back and compete again? So he asked me, well, I asked him, and he says, from a cardiologist standpoint, my job is to tell you no. But since I'm a young doctor and I'm a jock and I work out also, the stuff you really have to watch if you're going to come back is making sure your blood pressure is under control, You get your cholesterol check basically twice a year. Get a CT scan, a CAT scan once a year, and make sure your aorta hasn't expanded. Now, if you're doing all that and you know, you're doing it right, who am I gonna tell you what you can and cannot do? Because I would want to do what I want to do anyway. But if I can tell you the safest way and look for these signs, then you know, I guess it's okay. I knew in my heart that if I came back, I couldn't just come back. I knew I had to come back bigger, better, stronger. Overall, I knew I had to be complete of what I was before, but better. And that was my motivation. So I just went ahead and started training for a show. And my first show back, man, it was one of those deals where I had a sense of accomplishment. Not just placing third and re-qualifying for the Mr. Olympia, but I was really, really happy just to get back on stage and all the fans out there and walking around the, you know, Europa Expo, and everyone's telling me congratulations, I'm glad you're back. They didn't think I was going to be able to come back in a short amount of time that I did. I think for a lot of people, when they saw my name, you know, like one of the editor was telling me, he thought it was probably going to be a sad deal for me to come back, and you know, when he saw my name on the roster, but to actually see me on stage and to actually do really well, I think it shocked the bodybuilding world. And to me, that was more of a sense of relief and a sense of accomplishment than anything else, was being able to come back and being able to get recognized the way I did. And so I felt pretty good about it. Like I said, that was one of the best feeling I had, was coming back and doing well, but then getting the recognition that I needed and deserved from the fans. When I first competed at my first contest, I was kind of worried about my scar, that I felt it was gonna hinder me from my placing. But you know, all it does is just reminds me of who I am and what I'm, you know, what I've been through. So it's there, and I'm just going to compete with it, and whatever happens. But to me, I'm not going to laser it off. I'm not going to do anything. To me, it's who I am right now. I mean, it's just, you know, reminding me, like, look, Kris, there's that scar. So, you know, from that scar, it just put a different whole lookout on life for me. So honestly, I don't mind it. Hi, I'm Kris Dim, and I am True Strength.